But NRG are giving up the Sova, whereas TSM are giving up the Breach or KO, which is what NRG have ended up going for there. So you're going to see TSM starting out on attack again. And their composition previously, they had tons of ways that GMD was getting value out of Breach. The stuns were setting up for nades, all sorts of little combos within their kit. And now they've given up on some of those.
Oh,
look at this push already from Tex.
He doesn't want to overstep himself, but he would have just caught Rossi, who was trying to line up one of it, but see some of this utility. The nade is going to be used. Sees in hand as well, waiting for the right timing for it. There we go. It's caught onto so many players.
Oh, no.
They just can't get out of there, man. Just hopping around. Tevin to the side of things, trying to clear it through. Shut down once more. Paint shells are back online as well for Soms. Found another one of those. Trying to rattle off the headhunter shot. Tex just trying to capitalize again.
Spike down.
Just one player left standing now. Only Sabrosa in main. Great response from NRG.
Yeah. How do you get through NRG's comp? Think about the things that they have to shut down pushes. They have Raise Nade. Then they have the KO Fragment Grenade as well.
Yep.
They have a Seize that can grab you and just stick you in the same point. It's going to be incredibly difficult for TSM to get in through these choke points.
It's a trademark there as well.
Yeah. It slows you down.
Everything leaning there.
I mean, if you want to add in like Paranoia as you're coming through a choke, that just stops you getting into sides completely.
And TSM are a team that, you know, when we're looking at Ascent, typically when they're playing those breach comps as well, they were leaning to those big executes, coming to try and get those wholesale hits onto the sites, especially on Ascent, on their attack side. And now all those tools we just mentioned, all those pieces of utility, very good at slowing down the advantages that TSM love to hunt for.
One of the really good synergies that NRG have that isn't really present for TSM is a flash haunt. So you'll see it all the time. People comboing Recon Dart with flashes so that you can't break it, so it still gets off a pulse. You light people up, scanning them. So on TSM side, they don't really have a flash that they can combo with this haunt because they've given up the breach for it. Of course, GMT was still getting great value out of that haunt on Breeze, but I think there's just more opportunities here for Ethan to set up for really good scans for EU. We've already seen the value of that seized.
One way just fades away, EU. That's at the lineup, catches onto so many players. Paint shells off onto the back, but the gun's just far too much to overcome here.
What a fantastic haunt. So, sorry while I nudge out about the fade a little bit, but what we were seeing on the desk from Ender, he was taking you through some really good lineups, right? Yeah. So most of the haunt stuff that he was showing for Pyramid were lineups where you're getting the full extent, the entire parabola as she throws out the haunt. Very high up, but also the full travel time being used. EU there like lines it up as if he's going to throw it just into the site and activates the button again so it lands on top of a cannon. It's insanely quick to deploy, very high up, scans everybody, and not the kind of area where you're going to be looking if you're TSM. Those are the kind of things that you really have to build into your game as you attack. Oh, are they going to haunt? Those are the kind of adaptations that TSM are going to have to get used to.
Yeah, I mean, teams at the moment, they've been playing with Sova for so long, they already struggle with the dart.
Yeah.
Just to deal with that alone. Now you've got this piece of utility that's going to be spotting all of you. But here we go, a buy round for TSM. I mean, round already underway. Making sure they did some early work to try and clear through B main. EU gets rid of that boom bot.
They should have a decent timing here as Hayes one way starts to fall and TSM have a main control.
Yeah.
Hayes just gets another smoke online. Is able to deploy it in the same position. What utility do TSM really have here to get through this?
They've used so much already.
Yeah.
I mean, Rossi does have a drone.
Yeah, but he's not with the catwalk.
Be able to apply something, just pulling it away. Sees as well, just locking them all up. The paranoia.
No way.
No way does he get that. Still TSM. The players left standing. They're able to support them.
Wow.
You falling 7, collecting that one.
Really felt like it should have been NRGs there as they just came through. The only piece of utility they used to take catwalk control.
No
what
way.
am I watching? Rossi with the perfect lineup. Headshot Som takes down Tex. Yeah, the only piece of utility they used to take cat control, or tree control rather, was Sabrosa's pullback. That was it. And then they just swung on, and Sabrosa full blinded gets a kill. There's a good round for TSM to take. The anti-bonus. And Som saves the operator.
Again, back and forth was the tail so far on map number 1, and might be leaning towards it. Early days yet, of course, on Ascent, but as both of these teams start to adjust more towards, the fade being played and these new compositions, we'll see it.
So TSM saving a bunch of weaponry into the next round. NRG still going to be able to buy up to. EU one away from his ultimate. I'm not really sure that there's a play that you can make to try and secure one of these ult orbs for the defenders. Doesn't seem likely.
A main control, potentially. There's a Horn lineup you can do to cut across over the top.
Yeah?
It does spot people there, but
he's not posted up to go for it anyway.
They're not going for it.
Actually playing over towards Market here. EU. So many new things that we're going to see from both of these teams. It's just a...
There's a lot of silent pauses. We're just looking like, what is he going to be doing? Is he going to throw something?
Yeah. I mean, you normally, whenever we're casting, you normally have such a good read on what these teams are going to do. You've seen it all in matches before. You recognize the patterns.
Yeah.
But here, both of these teams are taking us into the brand new territory.
B main control taken for TSM. 7 just working his way through. There was an early boom bot that was used by Som just to ensure that nobody could take an early angle there.
And Cora used his over on the A side of the map. Really nice re-clear of A main right now, actually, from NRG. Ethan Hayes clearing that area out.
And as TSM hit, it could just be brutalized by this angle that Tex is taking. They are not going to anticipate that. Up onto the high ground. Sent through all of the utility as well. They've expended a lot in their kits just to try and get through here. Killing a trademark, but still the angle being held by Tex, and that Haunt is lit up everyone once more. They know the players are out and about, just weaving around into the smokes. The C's off onto the side. Tex is being pressured, but only Rossi left alive. Skipping a hop. Still healthy, but the players are swarming, ready and waiting. And EU felt like a Ferrari swing, man.
He's getting insane value. I mean, from what we saw from GMD on Breeze, I was excited when he pulled it out. Yeah. Again, here on Ascent. It's like, oh, we're going to see another masterclass on Fade from GMD.
Man.
And EU is farming. And Tex has a fantastic angle to begin here. And there's also a raise nade to block this hit that comes out. Then a Horn, a Seize, the Prowlers are disrupting everybody. EU's finding positions to anchor the sites and use his utility. And honestly, just spamming it out when they get the right timing for TSM to be going for an execute. And we said it on Breeze. TSM looked very exec heavy. And that's going to hurt them here into NRG's comp.
Throwing up the top, Tex spotted. He is holding that angle. Okay. Minerals on him. Has to rendezvous to the back, top mid. Still the C's in hand. That's EU just holding it, waiting for some sort of play. It's the C's into the nade. They hop forwards though. Activated maybe the C's just a little bit too late, so they could just hop and avoid it, but they have taken a lot of damage.
Oh, that shot was close to hitting.
This could be dangerous for NRG if TSM get into this one. Now, they don't have good guns. They're just pushing all the way into the spawn. Tex, he does return it, but shots being found still. To the back of the side, bit of run and gun in play. EU knows he doesn't want to contest with that, but the flash timing over the top, I believe, from Ethan. Gorgeous. Supplements nicely.
Oh, this composition just seems destructive.
Yeah.
Everybody has insane utility to throw out.
We're running this tonight. We're running this tonight. I don't care.
This is how we get to Immortal, is it? Just by copying NRG? I mean, it's absurd, though. Everyone has utility to be able to help each other, and yet they all kind of can play for each other, too. Raze is a duelist, perfectly happy to play for herself.
Yeah. Very self-sufficient.
The KO and the Fade both
really
can be very self-sufficient, but also really excellent at throwing utility for their teammates. I mean, Ethan is going to find opportunities to pop flash through and take his own fights, but that flash that he throws from CT to allow Som in backside to get the kill is superb. And EU is constantly there, throwing out utility, the C's with the nade combo.
And this is, honestly, it's really opened my eyes as well. I mean, you remember when we were really deep into the Astra meta, you saw the combinations, the utility being used with the pull.
Yeah.
Similar concept with the C's coming around, except this time much easier to use off the fly in terms of just waiting. Okay, if they boombot this, if we spot this, if this happens, you can just throw it out like that. There's no setup. There's no the arming of a star like before. It's so much more off the cuff.
What you do require, though, is line of sight or some kind of lineup.
Yeah.
Whereas Astra just has that global ability to have impact. And I'm sure Sabrosa will show you some of that when we flip sides. But for now, on the attack, TSM are finding it very difficult to, I think, just figure out where NRG are anchoring and pushing them away from positions where they can have utility impact.
I'd love to see them to just slow this down to try and pull out all of this utility that NRG are using. Look at this play.
Well, there's the A main aggression that you were talking about, Bren. The lineup for the Haunt in. They cleared Gelato. There's nobody there. Now they're looking back towards Cat. In reality, though, TSM were just chilling at top mid.
Right. And honestly, I think this could bode well for them. As I was saying just before we saw that play happening, a bit of a slower round would be good just to ensure that NRG don't have as much to work with to try and slow down the big execute to TSM. Prowler, that's going to spot the one. 7 just wants to lead the charge, and Fragment Nade does split them up. It's only 7 pushing all the way deep. Tries to go for the spray transfer, but traded eventually. Som back into it. Thinks there might be the rest of his teammates just following up loosely behind him. With the Cosmic Divide now splitting up the site, gives TSM a bit more of an easier entry.
He's looking there to see if he can use his blast pack to disrupt some kind of plan. Som's not going to expect the players up a generator. In the meantime, Rossi finds a pick on the lurk. Takes down Hazed. Leaves NRG in a 2v4.
Yeah.
TSM able to find the kills that they need. Not on the site exec. Actually being able to just come through tree and push those players away.
Comes down a little bit earlier.
NRG is still going to go for this.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a ton of money to work with, but Corey's just holding a slight angle. No bullets remaining. Whip out the classic and go for it. Yeah, why not? It's just right in his face.
Yeah, that's a free gun. Okay, so TSM have found one avenue of approach that has worked for them. They worked up Cat, were able to find a pick. They actually used their own C's plus nade combo to attempt to get a pick, to clear the pathway at least for Tex to push. That's another good part about the C's, honestly, Bren, compared to an Astra suck, is that you don't want to be playing inside your own Astra suck. You're going to vulnerable yourself, you're going to get sucked in, you know, it's global, it affects everybody. The C's is not like that.
You want to play?
You can push your own if you like. Good zoning ability. NRG are trying to take advantage of the fact that TSM have been playing passive mid, popping in there. They do manage to find the first kill. GMD was swinging to try and punish.
Yeah. He was supporting him. Right behind him. And honestly, NRG for now, looking at the ultimates they've got, Tex just trying to hold down the one behind a side angle. 7 also has that tour de force, so just watching it. But EU does have that Nightfall still. It's hard to get this mid control when Tex is holding that shallow angle watching market.
It is, definitely. They've closed the door now as well. But so many of these NRG players are just holding with utility in their hands. Yeah. I mean, Ethan, a prime example right there. They're waiting for some kind of indication. If TSM pulls some contact into their game, they could have a lot of success. There goes Corey, like a bunny rabbit into the tree.
Evan now moving through to swing. Corey, lovely shot. Tex removed. They still have the hard job of trying to clear out this side, and Ethan dropped away into the corner, but there we go! Hazed, hiding, waiting, in hell, quick little spray transfer, and buys enough time for the rest of his team to come swinging. Lovely fundamentals on display.
Really nicely done, and that's Hazed. I mean, it did feel like he woke up a little bit towards the end of Breeze.
Yeah.
Now he's 4-2 compared to his 1-13 or whatever he had halfway through. 13 deaths would be difficult, actually, halfway through a map.
Yeah, res, die again.
But yeah, really good anchoring. Playing a bit of a crossfire there with Ethan tucked at his close switch position. But like I said, TSM at some point here have to get the read as to how NRG are playing off their utility. This is going to be aggressive, though. Nightfall, Paranoia.
Really quick play, and the flash into the showstopper. The Horns try and push them back, and the players are playing deep into their own spawn with the paint shells. It's cut them up. A counter showstopper in play. Corey, he lets it rip, but there's a smoke in the way. They really can't play this. Someone get this boom off him. It's like, it's chasing me, guys. It's chasing me. Turn around, shoot it. For goodness sake.
What a piece of aggression from NRG. They have completely taken the tempo of this round. And they've just burnt 30 seconds and 2 players away from TSM.
And almost every single piece of utility at their disposal. I mean,
yeah.
2 stars left. Corey's got nothing left to work with.
Yeah, GMD's got a seize. I mean, good luck, good luck piecing together a round off this.
It's hard.
But this could be an opportunity, actually, for TSM to test out contacting in the player disadvantage. No, they just go for it, but Corey hits the shot.
Yeah, 9 health.
They need more of that.
He is low. Hayes could work
the
miracles here.
It's found him.
It locks him into the corner.
They know he's there.
And they're aware they have to be because the trail coming through. Lovely spacing.
30 seconds left.
GMD really feels like he has to make a play in this post plant.
I mean, he's so weak.
2v3. They have the Nightfall to work with. GMD's managed to get that online.
Not really in a position to push though. I mean, well, Sabrosa is playing on top of lane.
Honestly, if GMD's able to get one, this could be completely alive. But he gets picked. Ethan on top of it.
They know where Sabrosa is. They tagged him straight through the wall. Star there. Fragment. Everything being used. Can't hear a thing.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. And NRG with another effective retake. But the early round aggression with Nightfall, Paranoia, it's a bit of a, shark attack play, you could say. The B push, the mid push, trying to crunch players at tiles. It's a tiles crunch. But all brand new utility being used here, essentially.
And how do you deal with it?
I mean, they send out the Prowler to try and do something, but it doesn't actually catch onto GMD.
And 7 just not play the game. Look at this.
Yeah.
He's got a trail hunting him, a Prowler hunting him.
Yeah. And the other part of the Nightfall there is how many players backed off.
Yeah.
They know that there's 2 trails there on the floor. There are two players in spawn. We don't have to worry about some reactive push into A.
TSM are now a bit of a half buy here. Boombot for the Boombot. That's exchanged. A nade. Sent deep. And TSM get something here with the Prowler. Corey. There's a paint shell. Bouncing straight off the back of it again. A lot being disposed of here. This is really quite risky because now they've given up one of the rifles.
Oh, what an insane jump peak Sheriff headshot from GMD. Suppose it gets another.
They're getting more.
They've managed to pick up some rifles from this too.
Yep. Guns trading hands. Nightfall of their own. Now that's going to be sent straight across.
What a peak.
Into tree. But Tex, the peak timing on that one does collect it onto Sabrosa. Just 2 players now standing for TSM. They do have the spike down. Bit of an advantage for them. Ethan, meanwhile, the null command was popped off. Fragment.
Wow, you need exact line of sight for the fragment to do damage.
They're going to assume it's cleared. Is it going to be enough, though? The swing is there. Tex covers it.
There was a headshot involved there too, but Tex is just too good. He opened it up. Entries, or not entries, but gets the first kill of the round and closes it out with the last kill of the round as well.
Was a bit risky, though. I'm not going to lie at the beginning of that. And TSM are on the half buy and they're going for that aggression early and they lose the guns.
Yeah, there was an A main fight there that definitely didn't go their way. But Tex found an early pick in B main and then comes through on the retake, and he's just sharp. I mean, this is a different player compared to stage 1. And it's all just been in the role swap.
Can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
Because the guy was, I mean, everybody thought, look, listen, I'm going to put it bluntly here. They thought he was on the chopping block.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that was the community narrative, I think, going around.
If Ethan's going to get brought in, Tex is probably going out. And oh my word, what a mistake that would have been.
Right.
If the community controlled rosters. Turns out there are, I mean,
if they had that choice, I think Wood would still be on TSM and he probably wouldn't be playing in the groups. So I don't know. We'll see.
There are many more complexities than just being a good player or putting up good stats for a single stage. Take a look at this one. TSM got into a position where they knew there were players over by Cat trying to get value out of the Sobro. Doesn't get too much.
Sees.
On EU again with such fantastic ability usage here. Slows down the push and allows time for the rotate.
So they're just trying to take care of this. Sam on top of the generator. Whipping around Sabrosa with 2. 3v3. You still this slight angle. Knows that Corey didn't cross. In fact, he took a ton of damage in the process.
Oh, I mean, these NRG players are going to love that Cosmic Divide that just lets them walk in. You know there's somebody at generator.
No way.
Sabrosa with a little jiggle, just trying to get some information. Is anybody there?
So difficult for them to try and play this one, especially with this angle being held down. Up the top, it's the Haunt. Tap, tap in play. Just a little jiggle. 2v1 Ethan on 4 health. So difficult for him to try and win this touch out. TSM, yeah, the timing's great there. Finally a round that they get. The third one here in this half.
And an enormous performance by Sabrosa that takes them to that journey.
Yeah.
Getting those early kills, gets the Cosmic Divide online that slows everything down. NRG is still deadly often in the 3v3 retakes, but not this one. TSM with their positions, and Sabrosa sharp with the rifle. That gives them another opportunity to buy up. But we're at round 11 right now. TSM, honestly, they need the next 2. 1 at a minimum to make this winnable. And a reminder that this is their map pick. I thought coming into this that TSM actually had a good map pool in this match. Playing Breeze, playing Ascent.
Like it.
NRG pushing down mid. Roll them. GMD and Sabrosa, they've conditioned them to play passively in mid all of these rounds.
They just alternate it. They flip it up.
Yeah. It's just sometimes there's aggression, sometimes they're playing heavy utility-based site anchoring. So difficult for TSM to get a read, and they're getting rolled.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Hard to get a grasp. And now again, it feels like so many of these rounds not come down to it. But as the drone is heard, that's again the fragment in play. You have to just wait it out. There's still 50 seconds left, but they still want to commit into it. Ethan with the perfect angle being held. A quick little pop flash. Guess what? Yeah, the rest of his team, they already know. They're already here. Satchel shifts it. Creates a favorable fight for Corey to just collect the kill into Som, but not enough.
And coming through Catwalk, you have to push through a fragment grenade. Then you have to push through the raise nade. Ethan's flashing to re-clear. It's so difficult.
It's comp that NRG are running, man. It is. Yeah, it's disgusting.
It looks nasty. It really does. And now TSM in the final round of the half have a Sheriff, Stinger, Spectre. It's scraps. It's junkyard material.
And nothing. I mean, you're going to be leaning on these players with the rifles. Corey, GMD. Get work done. How do you do it? Pull, Vex. That is how you do it. The pull and the Prowler, as soon as he knows that's in play, the confidence to just swing that one and take him out. But instantly, you see, the one-way setup, he's putting that in play, making sure that he can stunt any sort of push. In fact, even going to be committing the ultimate for a bit of information.
Sabrosa's retrieved the operator, so this now makes TSM's buy so much more deadly. Hex has had a couple of moments where he's overstayed his welcome.
Mid. 7, holding the angle. No way is this being cleared. The timing, that is so unfortunate. And they've ran straight into him.
Brutal. And the ult as well that Ethan gets online, able to pop it up. All of these players are contained in Gelato. Fantastic awareness from Ethan not to overface.
In the top of it, GMD, the headshot, but a swing. Corey was covering that one. It's 2v2.
And Ethan's just waiting for them to push into spawn. He did hear a footstep.
Yeah.
He knows that Corey's somewhere around Catwalk. He'll be feeding that information over to Som. Full health, rifle, one away from an ult.
Rossi.
30 seconds
oh no.
left.
Raider just sees it. The damage was definitely done. 3 HP, Corey. Will he clear this corner? Yes, he will.
And that's the major threat dealt with. They already know where Ethan is.
Yeah. 17 seconds left in the round, but Rossi should be able to get that plant down. He is. Very low.
And what a chaotic, scrappy situation. Can Ethan spam? No. Oh, he can!
Just about catches that.
Rossi just opening himself up to the Radianite box instead of the bricks. And this comes down to a 1v1. Corey with a showstopper. How can Ethan win this?
It's so hard for him. Showstopper, the satchel, only one in play, but it is immaculate in terms of the movement. And they do get that round. 4 for TSM at the half.
Crazy final round. But NRG's comp has looked unbreakable on defense. The question really is, can they put it together on their attack side? Because this is where Sabrosa, Corey, GMD are going to start to come alive.
Yeah, that defense side for TSM, maybe the potential is there for them to battle back. And we'll see on the other side of this short break at the halftime, the continuation of this map. right back into the action. Time to see if TSM can pull back this map and potentially the series, because is NRG leading that initial map? Very close one at that. I want to see this series continue. We've been seeing so much creative stuff being pulled out by both of these teams.
Yeah, it would be amazing to see if they have anything new on Bind. All right, already off the rip, we're going to be seeing... Whoop, the knife suppresses GMD. He's not able to go for the haunt into A main. Som's taking a ton of damage here as well. Presumably a headshot that came through from Rossi in mid, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere along those lines, I think. TSM vital to get off to a good start. Playing pretty far back so far. I mean, it was an early exchange as well of bullets. Utility, but they are kind of deep in spawn right now, playing all the way back. I think the ping's making them, well, they are just in general quite aware of this mid push. I mean, that spam through the wall. 1 HP for Som.
Right here.
And it looks like TSM are getting a read on where this push is going to come through. The nade is doing a great job of pushing them away from players, from positions rather, where they can get value. Is Som really 1 health going to be able to turn this round around?
No way, man. Quick 2-tap with the classic. Corey has fallen. NRG, I mean, they just walk in. The plant is down. The post-plant positioning as well is so good for them with the classic. The swing from GMD is there. He gets the trade. Horn drop down. Players, though, quite low. Still could be winnable, but there we go. NRG. Pistol round online. The 9th round in the map for them.
Yeah, really good pistol from NRG. I think the key difference there that we saw was the utility being used by the attackers to proactively clear TSM away from the areas where they'd like to be throwing utility. I mean, people would love to play at CT in order to throw a nade or a haunt or whatever it may be. But Ethan's fragment grenade is there before NRG are, pushing back the defenders, not allowing them access to those great positions.
Yeah. And they couldn't even set up the angle to put in the recon dart to try and push them away. There's the players holding close. See you later right over the head. And the teammates just come barreling through the slow. A little bit late. You just holding the one angle with the haunt gone on top of it. And Tex just, okay, doing Tex things. Just making sure that mid is contained, making it really difficult.
Oh, man. The aim is just so clean, so consistent.
Yeah, he's playing with so much confidence.
It absolutely is. Another player that I want to highlight for NRG as well is Ethan, because this KO is having such a large impact. The knife is being able to suppress people that would otherwise want to be throwing utility. The fragment grenade is such a crucial part of the kit to layer into all of this stuff as well. And the Sova just doesn't appear to be getting the same level of value.
It's so much harder, right?
Yeah.
So much harder. I mean, you can really play with such high tempo and pace.
Yeah, and there's the prime game in Flawless. Brent, heading into this series, in North American group stage so far, Sova was sat at a 22% pick rate. I mean, I've never seen that. It's mostly because a lot of fracture's been played so far in NA. Whoa, NRG are quick on this one.
Yeah, they're trying to go particularly fast, but I mean, TSM still, with this competition, you have to respect the fact that they have the pulls, the Astra Stars, all that, the slow your push and attempts down. Use some early Tex. Okay, spots that.
Just putting a little bit of pressure there on Catwalk, draining GMD of utility. And now when they go for the A re-hit, no Haunt available, no Prowler. I mean, assuming they find the timing before.
Yeah, within the next 30 seconds, roughly.
Yeah. Rossi's now going to use a recon dart to clear out towers. Now would be a good timing to go for NRG.
Yep. He's going to send this. It's going to land on top of this wall, and it should light up a lot of the site. There we go. A bit of a running start for it.
Oh, it's on Jenny.
Down on top of Jenny, but they still just spam it through. Able to get the one. Players low though, and now Texas found the perfect timing. Just walks his way up through tree. 2 players. NRG standing, trying to get this plant down. A bit of run and gun in play. Ethan picks out his target. To get this spike down as well. The door closed. Opportunities, but already TSM are making sure that they can play this fast. Into heaven, making sure that NRG can't set up, and Texas left. He TP's back into main, a bit of a jiggle peek. Just needs to ensure that they're not on it, but the dart pushes him away, and the spam. Yeah, what are you going to do against the Odin spam?
You can't do anything about that. A great try for NRG on their bonus. They've made it very expensive for TSM. But it is TSM that come away with it in the end. Successful retake. Off the back of essentially being able to stop the first push from coming through. But NRG, again, they still look dangerous. That second push, a really good haunt, once more from EU, sets up a kill through a smoke. Tex is able to collect another pick onto GMD through Catwalk. And things got sticky again. Another 2v2 that NRG feasibly could have won. TSM are struggling to get the right read on this.
Yeah, we'll find the extra element to push them through without having to really, pull out heroics to win a lot of these rounds. This time GMD is going to dodge the knife that was being used. So we'll still be able to use his abilities, but slow take of mid for NRG. They dodged the Prowler, no information gained off of that. I'm walking into this mid smoke. What's the play here? Bit of a double swing maybe?
Seven's going to be holding the line. He has a trademark there too. As soon as the smoke dissipated, he got some info, baited him into a peek.
Okay.
Oh, and look at where that was set up. He had his rendezvous where he could still see anybody coming through mid.
He almost died there to the spam. The judge in close quarters here. Corey just playing at logs on the boombot to send it straight through, and the swings. Lovely stuff. Not expecting that.
One enemy remaining.
And thus far, Corey, Rossi, they are putting in work.
Good round for TSM.
That is a very good round for TSM. Shutting down the push. And this map, these comps, they should be defender-sided.
Yeah.
That's why we weren't really writing TSM off at the 8-4 half. It's still an uphill battle. It's still going to be difficult for them. But they've managed to push NRG into a low eco situation. And if you think about the big picture here, Brent, both of these teams fighting for playoffs, NRG yet to drop a map with this new roster in terms of their run through VCT qualifiers so far.
Yep.
TSM would have to pull out something huge for a comeback here, knock NRG down, go to map 3. And yet, brutal for Tex. These are the kind of games sometimes when you look back on it with the advantage of hindsight a month later, these are sometimes the games that define whether or not a team makes its playoffs.
It's a 5-week group stage, so certainly seen it. I mean, NRG came off the back of, in stage 1,
some really close losses.
very close losses. Very close losses.
And if even a couple of those had gone the other way early on in the group stage,
playoffs.
Yeah, maybe they make it.
So these
Neither of these teams want to be in that position.
Yeah, these early matches, in these week 1 matches, so important.
One less.
Looking pretty simple here for TSM to clean this up.
It's a weaker buy, so
Spike down mid.
contact plays, risks being taken by NRG as they were hunting for a pick or two, but it's going to be that 3-1 for TSM. Now looking forwards, just trying to mount that comeback and keep it even in this map here.
TSM are getting close to a lot of major ults that could start cycling.
The Nightfall springs to mind.
30 seconds
Yeah, Nightfall.
Some combo potential.
They're only 1 away from their Hunter's Fury.
Yeah.
Corey gets another pick, and now he's only 1 away from his Showstopper. There's a lot of ults that you want to be keeping your eye on here because they could come into action in this round. That, of course, is the Prime Gaming Flawless that started out with a bit of gelato aggression.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, they're trying to TP away, trying to rendezvous away, and just rendezvous further in, gets caught.
Yeah. Just, standing in the wrong circle, I suppose. When you overlap your rendezvous, sometimes that happens.
Yeah,
Forwards into it.
it's a good job that it happened in that round rather than
Yeah,
this
buy
one, though.
round, sure. Yeah.
No gelato aggression happening here for TSM. Comboing a seize with a nade, with some spam. Really trying to put the hurt on NRG if they take B main control.
But none of them are playing there, really.
No, but TSM are just altering it, going from one side of the map to the other, seeing if they can catch anybody off. Recon dart used again. They are very confident there is nobody in B main currently.
Spam EU down to 30 health, 7. Almost caught him there.
This looks like it's going to be another mid exploration for NRG.
Yeah.
This one went very horribly wrong last time.
Honestly, probably just hunting as well for the trademark. Having some way to obfuscate which area they are hitting. That arming up, I believe, the Nightfall, waiting possibly off of the trademark's own trigger, but I don't think anybody's going to be there to play off of it.
Yeah, I mean, if he did use his ultimate there, it would just be as a deterrent.
Yeah, just to slow things down.
There are 40 seconds left. Nightfall comes in one way and the other.
Yeah, traded the ultimates. No command also going to be used, but
A little slow from
he
Ethan.
push this through. Yeah, but look at it. It swings them, and they know that the players are going to be in an unfavorable angle. Drop down to the floor. Will they be able to get a res off? It looks likely. Really too much of a punish in play, and they're just swinging into the back of the side. Rossi, there's not much you can really do there, especially when the first shot comes off and the slow feels there. They've given up on bringing Ethan back alive. Okay.
Poor Ethan, he got abandoned.
Yeah.
But Som instead pushed the backside to try and help Tex, who needed none of it, frankly. I mean, Tex with his ultimate. Ooh, the force. Put a pick off. Player after player.
Positions. I mean, look at it.
How do you beat that?
You don't.
No, you simply don't.
Swings were great there from NRG at the end.
And that needed to be the round for TSM to get back into the game. Their economy is still going to be fine here, but they could have had an opportunity to crush NRG again and keep layering these eco rounds on top of each other.
Yeah.
And now they've let NRG back into things.
Now, timeout for TSM. You can't see the ultimates on this screen, but they do have a lot to work with.
Yeah, they have tons. I think they still have Showstopper. They should have Hunter's Fury.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's the purpose of this timeout as well. Maybe correct some of the things that are going wrong for them against NRG's attack, but also,
Yeah.
you know, call something that they could do off the rip. Maybe a play off of Rossi's info that he got.
TSM are doing a lot of stuff off the rip. They've done a Gelato play off the rip. They've done a couple of those, actually. And a B main play as well. The problem with them is they're not B main plays that go all the way out into tiles and take control of the tempo of the game. They're just kind of like early round trap plays in B main. But it gives you information that there's 3 players at B. And you know that they're all tied up using utility right at the beginning of the round. And NRG are just using that to take really fast mid control. I'd like to see TSM play a little slower, save more of their util, and set it up off the back of NRG using things. So when NRG, you know, start to put smokes down or throw some piece of utility, you're then using it to counter. I think the reason that TSM are reluctant to do that is if any of their players get caught by a 0 point, get caught up by the knife, it becomes much harder for them to play that play style.
Yeah, there's no trap play available.
There's a season nade again in tiles.
They're using it in tiles, but none of the players are sitting there. But they have the confidence anyway. 7 swings right around the corner. Nice little kill down to EU. Some desperate to get on top of the box. Not likely, son.
Unfortunate scenes. And NRG have lost the player. And now exploring back towards Cat. Think they should have the information that Corey was playing around here prior. Smoke to push him away. Oh, Corey's head should be on top
of the box. Showstopper popped off, and that is a reactive play. Catches Ethan as he almost caught the timing through. Now, it's a bit of a counterplay with a Showstopper in hand. Runs right around the side. Som actually ended up going down.
How on earth did GMD get the kill on Som there? That should have been a guaranteed pick for Som.
Not sure at all. He should have been able to see him. Rossi also committing that Hunter's Fury, and he does get the tags. And they know that Tex is deep into the site. Just watching the angle. Tour de Force swings round. That's it. Done and dusted. Spam up to the back of Jenny because they knew that the plant location was there.
But the whole round comes down to Som's Showstopper missing, getting killed before he could fire it.
Don't know what happened there.
There's a mad interaction that just happened over a tree that could have defined whether or not TSM can pull off a comeback.
Was it GMD in his face?
Yes, it was GMD just up in his face there. And GMD's just tapping the orb, just trolling him. Put him out their misery.
Is this trolling, or is it spending more time to talk about the subsequent rounds?
Oh,
because I'm not. It could honestly. It's probably trolling. I'm not gonna lie. These guys, the players on both of these teams. You look at Twitter. Take a gander, man.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. If GMD just outplayed Som, and then he's on the defuse,
and he's just tapping it over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's not like they were running around trying to save an operator or something, right?
No.
So, I mean, unless someone was taking a quick tea break. Right, what happened here? Oh, he just got completely blinded.
It's just a freeze.
Just a freeze frame for us to identify. But GMD is just full blind and somehow
I feel like I'm playing
gets the kill.
Man. Just trying to extrapolate from like a texture. Like what happened there?
Yeah,
I mean, maybe it was a prowler or something that essentially blinded him. Like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but blinded GMD and he still got the kill. So I'm befuddled.
Yeah, who knows?
But either way,
let's leave it.
That's a fantastic play that turns the tide of the round and possibly turns the tide of the match.
7 with this operator. I mean, the Tour de Force operator, whatever it is that he's got in his hands, it's enough. to get these pickoffs, these opening pickoffs for them.
Every time they've smoked this, they've been trying to go catwalk. It's not been a fake very often.
They have to be aware.
Ethan, Som, they're trying to sound bait, seeing if they can pull out some utility.
Push it through. Okay.
Spike down A.
The spam comes down. Now TP into the back of the site. Rossi, he's being pushed from multiple different angles. A bit of a reset there. GMT gets it. The tag the dart. Finds the one player. That was a wall bang onto Tex. Hayes deep into the back of the site, but he doesn't have the spike.
Yeah, it's just an unwinnable situation for him. 7 goes pretty crazy in this round, but they also have Rossi under so much pressure, still able to go 1-for-1. We could definitely still have a match on our hands here.
Yeah.
TSM making them work for an Ascent win.
Shot from Corey just on the high ground.
And definitely Corey's kill through the smoke. Yeah, there's some luck involved, but it's comboed, I believe, with a suck that comes out there from Sabrosa. And they've got a pretty decent idea that they're trying to work catwalk as soon as the smoke comes down. Hayes' smoke indicates, yeah, we want to take this area of the map. And that's what this Ascent game is all coming down to. How few can the clues be from the attackers? And what I mean by that is every piece of utility you use, every sound you make as an attacker is going to indicate which part of the map you're trying to take. And as soon as you make an audio cue, the defenders are going to respond with something. Spam through a smoke, some piece of utility, you know, a reposition. And it feels like both of these teams are finding it difficult to go fast enough so that the defenders can't react, or silently enough so that they don't know where you are.
You know, bogged down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And NRG, they take the timeout.
We definitely suspected it, that, you know, on the defense side, it could be flipped around, and NRG taking this timeout, as you said. They're just trying to... How do we get this next round on the board? How do we make it map point?
But they're going to have to wait. It's an eco to begin. Very poor buy. They'll be talking about round 22, not this one coming up.
Yeah, and the players, what is it, a 3-2 split, so a bit of mid-control maybe for NRG off the rip.
It looks like TSM are going to go for...
That works.
Yeah, so I thought Boombot contact there might have triggered the haunt being thrown by GMD.
Yeah.
But they're not going to go for that. Instead, Tex is taking really aggressive positioning in A main. And NRG are just walking this one. It's just silent.
It's a real thinking man's game, this one, isn't it? Taking these long pauses. But he gets a half by the contact straight into mid. I mean, obviously 7 still locking down these angles. He's been having a lot of impact.
He is.
He's been having a lot of impact on this defense side.
And the more that NRG try to contact on their attack, the more they're just going to walk into the op. You'd really like to be silent so that the TSM players can't get a read on when to throw their defensive utility, but you still have to use some util to push the op off the angle.
Yeah.
So they're stuck with a rough choice. And Hayes is going to be trying to figure this one out during the eco round. Ethan with a nice kill. Going to be able to get a spike plant down here. TSM happy to play for the 4v2 retake.
Yeah. Plan available, so a bit of money for the next round. And in all likelihood, not really winnable with the state of the health that they're in. 2 health is what Hayes has got. And honestly, with the weapons as well, the Odin, you're going to see that they're just going to spam straight through these walls. Showing a lot of respect to them with the paint shells, just in case they're holding close. Haunt at the top. Not able to even take it out in time just because of the Sheriff, but yeah. Easily enough done. And now, Josh, we're going to start to see, I think, maybe what that timeout was about for NRG. Looking into this next round, and they've got the weapons.
GMD with the defuse gets Nightfall online. It's the only large ultimate that TSM have access to. So there's a Cosmic Divide there as well, which could have some impact. But I'm looking towards the Nightfall. NRG, as you said, Brent, took a timeout to discuss this round. Round 22. Getting themselves to match point. So how do they actually enact this?
Yeah.
They've got orbs that they could potentially play for, you know?
Sure. Tex is opping on the attack side as well, though.
He is, yeah.
Something in play.
Tex has been dominating the head-to-head, by the way, against 7. So in terms of the actual op battle, if they do end up going tete-a-tete, You've got to favor Tex. 7 now taking a creep into B main. Not even off the drone. He's just walking up on B main. And it looks like these Prowlers have got his name written on it.
Yep. Tagging him as well, so he fires off the shot before TPing back to safety. NRG, maybe a bit of pace now. Yes, they're going for the B split. Working their way through. The Star's going to be even down in time. The pull is there. And 7hours, look at that, the Nightfall cuts across into the side. It's actually going to be tagging on a multitude of players. It's up to Rossi, though. He drops down, hiding, weaving around that box, but it's not quite enough still. 7 available, holding into the back of the site. The swing, beautiful stuff, and NRG. It's a 1v2. Ethan feels pressured enough that he has to pop off that no command just to pressure away, because he realizes that it could still be winnable for Sabrosa. With that ult that he's got, the Cosmic Divide, might even opt to use it. That's just how important this round is.
He's not going to have an opportunity for a while, though. Here, the suppression finally disappears. Sabrosa with 1 star.
Dodges knife. He hasn't even reloaded, though. Only 9 bullets. And he has to try and take it against both of them. The Jiggle Peek.
Surely
He's looking
not enough
for another player, but the double swing drops down. Spam through the box.
It's a great try. It really is. But NRG came up with a great answer. That was what the timeout was about. They wanted to go fairly quickly. I mean, it's a lot of their rounds have been heavy mid control and using utility all over the map. And so even as EU uses its Prowler to push Tex away, they're not to push 7 away, sorry. They aren't confident that it's going to be a B split immediately. So when the tempo gets turned up, NRG are already in position really close to market to B main so that they can start their exec close to the site. And even the Nightfall couldn't help them there. This is now match point for NRG.
Knife needs to get dodged, yeah, and this is everything for TSM. Series. And Tex, he's opened it up. 7 opping. It was a saving grace, honestly, on his defense side for TSM. So many times getting an opening pick that made it just that much easier for them to try and do something. But Rossi is being pressured so hard, and look, does not anticipate it. The aggression all the way through into market. Som cleanly just swinging through there, 17 health as well. A bit of spam, my word, Ethan's so close to getting that pick. And TSM, only 3 alive. Cosmic Divide is around, but they'd have to come up with something massive. They'd have to just pull off something incredible.
And the Cosmic Divide can only cut off one area. You could cut off B main, or you could cut off the people at the back. Or Sabrosa just dodges it. He still has the ult. He's going to cut off the very back of the site.
Yeah,
but those players in B main, there's still 3 of them there to contend with.
It's so hard. They're using the smoke and the pull as well, just in case they try and push through. But there we go. A C's off to the side. They know that Corey has saturated off to that one area. With the Haunt destroyed, though, a bit of counter spam running straight through. They need to regain control of the site. They've actually got it. Sabrosa's on 1 HP, though. He has to stick this, and he's so easily spammed. Only left alive, not enough.